Good morning, or afternoon or evening, depending on when you're watching my videos. You might be wondering what the hell I'm up to. As you know, I want to create some whimsy. By whimsy, I mean some videos which are comedic, comic. Not necessarily comedy per se, I mean maybe it is, I don't know. Whimsy is the term I'm using because I want to make something which is interesting to watch, satisfying, amusing, gentle, creative, and I don't know, just nice. It's a horrible word, isn't it? Nice. I want to create something which takes effort, which has value, and that has repeatable watching quality, whatever that is. So I've been doing up my kitchen. You saw that in the video if you are a regular watcher, and there's going to be another video in which I put in the Belfast sink. Well, I don't. Some wonderful people who come to help me, Tim and Craig, have come to assist, which is so kind. And that's going on the other side. And I've got my dresser, the new dresser in, and all of that. I want to make videos that is more than just vlogging, more than just walks. I continue to do all of this because I know the audience likes it, but part of what I do, I need to be able to satisfy myself, and some of that is just going back to some of my roots. When I was a kid, the things I wanted to do was create films. I wanted to be a filmmaker. It was very difficult in the 70s growing up. I had Super 8, but you know, it was so limited on the budget, on the things you could do. I was a young person living at home, didn't have the freedom, didn't have the money, didn't have the wherewithal, and didn't have the knowledge either to do the things that I didn't even really know what I wanted to do, but I knew that film was my medium. Here am I as a YouTuber now, and this is my medium. And sometimes I feel that what we're doing here is just producing what they call content, and the audience just gobble it up and it's gone. And I understand, you know, one has to do that because based on the patronage that the audience very kindly give me to help me carry on, and the advertising revenue, which is very small on YouTube, unless you've got hundreds of thousands of viewers, which seems to be a very tricky thing. And people just don't seem to find the channel or even like the channel, or I don't know what prevents me from building up the audience. I've no idea. It's a challenge in its own. But you continually make this content, which I feel is just so disposable. And it's fine, I understand that and I accept that, but there's a part of me that wants to do something better, more fun, that has its own style, that takes effort, and there's a certain amount of toil in order to create it, but is a piece, if you like, is a film, a standalone piece of whimsy, in the way that Laurel and Hardy, for example, nearly 100 years ago, were making that sort of whimsy. The silent era were making whimsy. I mostly want to make visual stuff, but with limited dialogue, sound effects and music and all of that. I'm not saying I want to make silent movies, but principally visual. Back into vlog mode now, and the lovely Julia has arrived. Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Hello.
Hello, lovely Julia. You get yourself all made up for the camera.
Yeah.
Or is it for life?
For life in general, so I can go out and face the world and not feel like an...
I know what you mean. I have to make my face ups every day, shave out the bristles.
It take you hours and hours.
Oh, it does. The long nostril hairs, they're the ones, and the ears, the hair that puffs out there. It is a nightmare. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to be seen.
Cup of coffee made, and tea. We've got, there's a bed in the shed.
That's a royal we.
Yeah. We've got to go and take it down to a charity shop and see if they'll take it off our hands.
Mm.
So in a minute, we'll have our tea and coffee, and then we'll go and drag the thing out the shed and take the bed from the shed to the charity shop. And whilst we're there, we can have a look and see if there's...
look-see.
Yeah, there might be some interesting props for our whimsy.
Future whimsies.
Yes. I'm venturing into the shed, which is a bit of a mess at the moment, complete mess. I've got to do a dump run, but at the moment everyone's using the dump because the bin men are on strike. So to get an appointment down the dump is probably impossible. Right. Somewhere in the depths of this is a bed. That is what I said. Oh, bloody hell.
Nearly there.
Nearly there. It is actually in quite good condition. Come on, you swine!
Yeah.
I have. When I bought the van, it came with this steering lock, which is very useful, but sometimes it's a bane in my life. I'm going to shove it in the back. Back in a minute. Right. And I need to get out of this tight spot that I end up having to park in the narrow lane. But luckily the place is only up the road, because you've only got limited parking, haven't you, Julia?
Yes.
And you've got to get back for Joe.
That's right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We still, another thing that we've got to do at some point is to, excuse me, re-inflate the tent, the struts, and try and erect it again before we go to old Ian McCagan's field, because I was told by Elizabeth, who sent me the tent, that actually they tried it out and the valves are, you have to make sure the valves are pressed in or pressed out, so otherwise you can be inflating it and think, oh, it's got a puncture, so the tent might not actually have a puncture.
So it might have just been user error.
I think very much user error.
ID 10T error.
Yes. I have to say, the Glass House, fantastic place, a treasure trove of wonderful things. I saw, well, you saw a bedpan. I haven't bought it, might come back tomorrow. Need to think about that because it was a tenner, but you know, tenner for a bedpan. Can I get some gags out of it? Yes, I can. Should have bought it. I feel I should have bought it, but Julia's got to get back. And your dress is amazing, absolutely fantastic. Very impressed. For our whimsy, total expense so far, a jacket for me, 4 dresses for you and some shoes, 40 quid, a bargain.
That was fun. Don't do it often, but I do love a bit of dress up. Yeah, I absolutely love all 3 of the dress, 4 of the dresses, 3 and a shirt, tunic top type thing. Anyway, semantics. Absolutely love them. They're exactly what I was looking for to fill the niche that we have had. Anyways.
I am in possession now of a white piece of net curtaining and more magnets so that I can give myself just that little bit of privacy here in the van. And I haven't quite got that hung correctly, but you can see, although it gets dirty very, very quickly, look at that. Bit of privacy there. You can't see in terribly well, and when these work lights go off, it'll be even better. And I can work in there. So I'm just going to lift it off the ground a little bit so it doesn't keep dragging on the base of the, or the floor of the, you can see it's flying up a bit actually. I'm just going to put a couple of magnets to hold it lower down. Bear with me. There we go, one there. And one, where is the space? There we go. So I've got some new magnets, little tiny magnets these are, little hooks. So one can hold things up. I've got nothing immediately to hold up. I suppose I could demonstrate that with my hat, I guess, if I wanted to. It's a funny place to put it, I know. At the charity shop, bought this jacket. Okay, it's a little on the small side, admittedly, when I sit down like this, but I think it was £8. And I like it. I like that sort of slightly small, slightly comical size. It's a bit Norman Wisdom-y, you know, that sort of, oh, it's a grim sale. But that I quite like, rather than something that envelops me. As I've lost a bit of weight, I much rather have something shorter, I think, for my whimsy character as I'm slowly developing. So yeah, you might get a bit of the cuffs, but I'm all right with that. I know other people say, oh, you've got to have it so that you can do it up, and you couldn't do it up. And I don't want it too big, so I'm okay with it. I bought a smoke machine, as you can see here. And the reason you might want to use a smoke machine, for example, is in my kitchen here, and you saw me set up the lights. I just want to take away the reality of the scene by making it too stark. And so sometimes a smoke machine will just diffuse the background. You don't have to use a smoke machine just to illustrate smoke, as I did in my pipe smoking video. I'm just waiting for this red light to come back on again because it's warming up, and create atmosphere. Now, I used to do tons of extra work when I was in my 30s, and I loved doing it. I always obviously wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be on the productions, but I loved doing it because I was watching how classy television was being made, and I saw them using smoke machines to put what you might call atmosphere into a room, whether it was a pub that was supposed to be full of smokers, because back in the 70s you could smoke, of course, or whether it was a working environment, or that the sun was streaming through and you wanted to light it in a particular way. And that's really what I'm doing here, that you constantly have to feed it in, but you don't want to put too much because otherwise you see the smoke. It's really just about sort of diffusing the background, not necessarily the person. You might be creating early morning mist and things like that. Here we go, look. So a little bit, just a little bit. And that, something as simple as that, just get that and it settles. You waft it around so you don't actually see the smoke. Sometimes it's enough of that. And I'm in between making my daily videos and my vlogging videos and all of that. I'm thinking and I'm writing and I want to create, and I'm experimenting as well with a little bit of whimsy, which I hope to bring you very soon.
I like the way it swings.
I think that's going to be a success.
Excellent. Next.
Next.